Hey everyone, ready to dive into some philosophy today?
Always.
We're tackling Avicenna's ideas about happiness.
Yeah, his ideas are really something.
Not your typical self-help stuff.
Yeah, not at all.
We're going deep on his work, Ali Sharat wal Tambihan.
A classic.
You might know Avicenna is this brilliant polymath doctor, philosopher.
From the 11th century.
Yeah, but today we're all about his views on living a truly fulfilling life.
This is where it gets interesting.
Because he doesn't buy into the usual stuff.
Like what?
You know, wealth, pleasure, the easy answers.
Right.
He says true happiness is about reaching your full potential.
As a human being.
And get this, he thinks it's mainly through your intellect.
It's all about that brain power.
So you're saying my new phone isn't the key to happiness?
Maybe not the key.
Avicenna thinks there's something deeper.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, I'm hooked. What did he think real happiness looked like?
He saw it as this enduring state.
Enduring, okay.
You reach it by constantly exercising and developing your intellect.
So like a mental workout.
Exactly. But instead of biceps, you're building wisdom.
Okay, so no more mindless scrolling on social media.
He might say that.
But hold on, most of us aren't like Avicenna.
Right.
Does that mean we're all doomed to just crave potato chips?
Not necessarily.
And miss out on the real deal?
Avicenna didn't say all pleasure is bad.
Okay, good.
He just believed that lasting happiness comes from deeper down.
So there's like levels of pleasure.
You could say that.
And intellectual fulfillment's at the top.
Exactly.
So it's about being mindful of what truly satisfies you.
Yes.
Choosing experiences that make you feel like you're growing.
And Avicenna actually had a term for people who reach this state.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
He called them the arif.
The arif. Now, this is where it gets interesting.
Right.
They're not just bookworms holed up in a library, right?
Not at all.
They actually live by these principles.
They do. Their dedication to knowledge is profound.
Knowledge and what else?
Contemplation of what he called the first truth.
Which for Avicenna was?
God.
Right, God. And they're so focused, it's like they die to worldly concerns.
Like a separated soul, but still living in the material world.
Wow, that sounds kind of intimidating, though.
How so?
Giving up everything you enjoy?
Well, now, hold on.
Is that what he's saying?
Avicenna was very clear that the arif is different
Different from...
from those who follow strict asceticism or just devout worship.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, those practices can be tools, but not the ultimate goal.
So it's more about finding balance.
Yes, finding balance.
Using those practices to enhance your understanding.
Exactly. Not just blindly following rituals.
Right. It's all part of the journey.
It is a journey.
Speaking of the journey, Avicenna had this path to becoming an arif.
Oh, yeah.
He called it riyada,
Meaning
soul training. And it's a three-part approach.
3 parts. Okay.
First, you remove all those obstacles to the truth.
Interesting.
Think like clearing out your mental closet.
Getting rid of distractions so you can focus.
So in today's world, what would that be?
Like turning off your phone.
Yeah. Or resisting that urge to check social media constantly.
It's about creating space for contemplation.
Okay, so less scrolling, more thinking.
It might say that.
All right, what's next in this riyada agenda?
Taming what he called the animal soul.
Animal soul. Interesting.
Yeah, all our instincts and emotions.
Ones that run wild sometimes.
Exactly.
Avicenna wasn't a fan of letting those run the show.
Definitely not.
He thought true happiness comes from mastering them.
Not being ruled by them.
So basically, training our minds to be the boss.
Yes. But that's easier said than done, right?
You're telling me this world is designed to trigger our desires.
It is.
But that's where Avicenna's emphasis on self-control comes in.
Yes. Self-control and rational thinking are key.
So cultivating the ability to step back and observe those urges.
And make choices that align with your deeper goals.
So building those mental muscles.
Exactly.
Resisting instant gratification and choosing long-term fulfillment.
That's it.
It's a journey, not a race. Small steps, building awareness, shifting your focus.
From those fleeting pleasures to more enduring happiness.
But did he give specific examples of how to do this soul training?
Oh, absolutely.
Like what?
He had a fascinating take on asceticism, for example.
Wait, wasn't Avicenna against just denying yourself pleasures?
That's where it gets interesting.
So what did he mean by asceticism?
He saw it as a way to sharpen the mind.
Not as punishment.
No, but by removing distractions.
Okay, so not living like a monk in a cave.
Right.
It's more about choosing to eliminate things that hinder your growth.
even if they seem pleasurable on the surface.
So like giving up your phone for a day to read a challenging book?
That's a great example.
Like a digital detox for the mind?
I like that.
What about other practices? I know he talked about worship, right?
He did, but again, from a specific perspective.
In what way?
For him, worship wasn't about blind faith.
Yeah.
It was a reflective practice to enhance your understanding
Understanding of?
of the divine.
So it's not just going through the motions.
Yeah.
It's about engaging thoughtfully.
With intention, a desire to connect with something greater.
I can see that.
He even saw beauty as having power.
Really?
Music, inspiring speeches, architecture.
So those can guide people toward a higher understanding.
I believe so.
Wait, so listening to beautiful music can help on this path to happiness?
Maybe.
I'm in. But how does this soul training actually lead to that deep happiness?
That's where it gets even more fascinating.
Oh boy.
He believed it prepared you for something extraordinary.
What? Tell me.
A moment of connection with what he called the active intellect.
The active intellect. Now that needs some explaining.
It does.
What is it, and how does it fit into this whole happiness picture?
Think of it like tapping into a universal source of knowledge.
Whoa.
Like plugging into a higher realm of pure intellect.
And experiencing this is key to reaching true happiness.
According to Avicenna, yes.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Good.
This active intellect sounds mind-blowing.
It is.
But how do you actually connect with it?
That's where we move to the next stage.
Lead the way.
Right.
What does that experience even feel like?
Well, he had a very specific way of describing it.
All right, give me the details.
And believe me, it's not what you'd expect. All right, so this moment with the active intellect,
Yeah.
it's not like some peaceful retreat, you know?
Okay.
It's intense.
Intense.
He
Okay.
says it's like flashes of lightning in a dark night.
Wow.
Boom, sudden clarity, ultimate truths revealed.
So more of an aha moment.
Yeah, not a gradual thing.
But if it's so fleeting, how is it transformative?
That's the thing.
Is it just a glimpse and then gone?
It fades, but leaves a mark on the Arif, like a taste of true bliss,
I see.
and it makes them crave more.
Like the best dessert ever, and then poof, it's gone.
Exactly. And he talks about the sadness, too.
Sadness.
When the moment passes, the Arif feels this longing.
For it to return,
Yes.
that's got to be tough.
It is, which is why Avicenna stresses effort.
So the moment isn't the end goal.
It's a catalyst, deeper, more frequent connections.
With the active intellect.
Exactly. Think of it like marathon training.
The more you practice, the better you get.
Right?
So you don't just wait for enlightenment to hit you.
You seek it out actively.
Honing your intellect, refining your understanding.
Through Riyada, remember?
Soul training? Yeah. But this doesn't sound easy.
He mentioned some side effects, actually.
Side effects, whoa.
Things like unconsciousness, anxiety, feeling overwhelmed.
So like pushing your mind to the limit?
You could say that.
But the rewards sound incredible too.
They do.
Because you can't have one without the other.
Right, and the Arif learns to handle these experiences.
Okay, so they get used to it.
And even hide it from others.
Secret agents of enlightenment. I love it.
Ha, good one.
But where does all this lead?
Good question.
Is experiencing the moment the final stop?
Not quite. There are stages beyond it.
Seriously? I thought that was the destination.
Each stage is a deeper connection. He even uses terms for them, like mashia.
Marcia. Breakdown time. What's that?
It's willful contact with the active intellect.
Willful meaning.
The Arif can access those insights whenever they choose.
Like on demand. That's amazing.
It is, but Avicenna says it's still not the highest level
Wait, what?
of true knowledge, of irfan.
I thought that was the top. Enlightenment on tap.
There's still a sense of separation there, the Arif and the truth they experience.
So they're at the edge, but haven't dived in.
A good way to put it.
So what's the next step then?
Closing that gap.
To achieve complete union.
Exactly.
And that brings us to
The ultimate stage.
woo,
Woo, meaning
arrival.
arrival. This is the big one.
It is.
Tell me everything. What's it like?
Imagine diving into that ocean of knowledge.
Becoming one with it.
It's a woo.
So the separation is gone.
Completely.
The Arif loses their ego, experiences truth directly,
He says they become a polished mirror.
reflecting the truth perfectly. No longer separate, but part of their being.
Powerful stuff. But does that mean they become God?
That's been debated for centuries.
Right.
But Avicenna is clear, it's not about literally becoming God.
Okay.
It's about achieving the highest understanding as a human.
So fulfilling your humanity, not transcending it.
Exactly. Reaching peak human potential.
And even then, there are limits. Right.
He acknowledges that, yes.
We can't fully grasp the infinite.
But we can come closer.
Okay, I get it.
But here's another twist.
Another one.
What happens after wool?
I thought that was it. The finish line.
Avicenna describes the Arif returning to the world.
Returning. Why? Why come back after all that?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
And his answer is surprising and insightful.
All right, lay it on me. What happens next?
Get ready for a twist, because
Yeah.
this has implications for all of us. So we left off with this Arif who's reached wool.
Yeah, total union with the truth.
But then they come back to the world.
I still don't get that.
The head scratcher, right?
Yeah. Why come back? After experiencing ultimate bliss.
Avicenna says they return with a new purpose.
Like what? What purpose could be bigger than that?
To share the fruits of their enlightenment.
Interesting.
They become a guide for others.
So they're not just showing off.
No.
They actually want to help others reach that same state.
That's the idea.
Okay, that makes more sense.
It's about inspiring, not boasting.
But how do they do that? What does it look like?
He says they have a deep understanding of divine providence.
Divine providence meaning.
They see the interconnectedness, everything.
So they don't sweat the small stuff.
Note, they accept how life unfolds.
With a sense of peace.
Exactly.
Because they're not attached to material things.
Or ego.
So they're generous, forgiving.
They don't hold grudges.
Can we do that too?
What do you mean?
Cultivate these qualities without becoming, full-on philosophers.
I think that's what makes this so relevant.
You think so?
It shows us that happiness isn't about external circumstances.
It's an internal thing.
An internal state of being.
So even if we don't reach wool,
Right.
we can still aim for those qualities.
The joy, the serenity, the understanding.
Like pieces of the Arif's wisdom in our own lives.
Exactly.
We might not reach the peak, but we can enjoy the climb.
And remember, intellectual growth is important too.
So keep learning, exploring ideas.
Have those meaningful conversations.
It's all connected.
It is.
Bringing that contemplative spirit to everything we do.
From reading to washing dishes.
Finding those moments of growth and connection.
In every aspect of life.
Well, there you have it, folks.
We made it.
A journey through Avicenna's view of true happiness.
Quite a journey.
It's not some unattainable mystical thing.
It's not at all.
It's a path for everyone.
A challenging path, but rewarding.
As we wrap up, one last thought.
All right, shoot.
If you could experience that connection with the active intellect,
Yes.
what one question would you ask?
What knowledge would be most valuable to you?
That's something to ponder, isn't it? And for those wanting to explore further,
Yes.
check out the show notes for more resources.
Until next time.
Keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.